Today I fucked up by going on a date with someone from Hinge. Okay, so a week or two ago I matched with a girl on Hinge. She is in the same town as me, appeared to be my type, similar interests, the whole thing. We chatted on Hinge for a while, and then moved to texting. We had a lot in common, and I found her physically attractive, so I asked her if she wanted to go on a date at a bar, grill in our downtown area of the city we lived in. We made the plans, and I get to the restaurant last night a little early and let her know I was going to grab a table. It was pretty busy and the place didn't do reservations, but told her I'd meet her up front when she got there. She tells me she's walking up, so I let the waiter know and meet her at the front of the restaurant, and a girl who I absolutely did not recognize walks through the door and greets me. After a few seconds I realized it was in fact her, but truthfully probably twice the size of her from the photos. She wasn't stick thin in her pictures, by any means, but probably 100 pounds less than she is now. I believe I did a good job of not looking too shocked and gave her a hug, and we walked back to the table, had dinner, chatted, and I was probably much less chatty than I had been because I was just a bit shocked. I am not someone who has any issues with someone's weight, but I'm a smaller guy, 5 feet 9, 130-ish, and have always found myself attracted to a particular type, which she appeared to have once been, but not any longer. She was cool, and the same person conversationally that I had talked to, but I was not attracted to her physically, and that made me sad, but that's something I have an issue faking. I paid for dinner, walked her to the car, and we went our separate ways. Afterwards, she texts me telling me how wonderful of a night it was and how she can't wait to do it again, to which I took some time to respond to make sure I was respectful and my response was well crafted and not rude in any way, but eventually let her know that I didn't feel a connection and I had a nice evening and would love to be friends. She immediately snaps to, "Oh, you're the same as all of the other guys. You love the old me but not the heavy me?" Followed by a few more messages detailing her past experiences and trying to explain that if I liked her when she was smaller, why can't I like her now? I truly felt bad, and didn't want to tear her down or make her feel even less self-confident, but reiterated that I would be happy to continue to be friends and talk, but I couldn't see the romantic angle working. She wasn't a fan of that angle, and said she was going to block me, to which I just didn't respond. So today comes around, and for background, I leave my personal phone at the house often if I have a busy work day, and I come home from the office to my friends sending me screenshots. Apparently, this girl had some mutual friends of mine, and she had posted on her Instagram story photos of my Hinge warning her followers to stay away from this guy. He's a pos, yada yada yada. I have Instagram, but usually don't have it installed unless I'm painfully bored, so I never saw it, but re-downloaded it to see if the posts were real. Turns out, she found me on Instagram and blocked me, but my roommate showed me on his phone that the posts were indeed there. I had a few people reach out and ask me about it, but I still feel bad and have been confused about the situation all afternoon and wondered if I could have handled it better. She clearly had self-confidence issues, given all of her Hinge photos ended up being quite old, and I hate to think I contributed to making that worse. That said, I feel her response has been extremely out of proportion, as I still paid for dinner, walked her to her car, and explained my position in what I thought was a thoughtful way. Anyway, I think that's enough online dating for me for a while. Editing to ask. Was I in the wrong? Too long did not read. A girl I went on a Hinge date with was much heavier than her in her photos, and she roasted me on Instagram. I mean, she can't be mad if she knows she's not posting pictures of her current self. That's intentionally deceptive and it's essentially catfishing. If you didn't mention the weight difference in the text and she just jumped there on her own, then clearly she knows what she's doing. Very manipulative of her. She set herself up to get hurt. Accurate photos may get her less dates, but she'll be happier with the dates she has. "Oh, you're the same as all of the other guys. You love the old me but not the heavy me?" Should have pointed out to her that if she didn't lie she wouldn't have this problem. Not the asshole. The contents were different than what you could see on the tin. We cannot control who we are attracted to. We can control our behavior. It's unfortunate that her appearance couldn't work for you, but no reason to feel guilty about it. Her subsequent behavior shows, however, that you would not have worked out regardless. Other people may want to express opinions about the difference between her appearance online versus reality. Not particularly interested in that angle myself. Classic case of denial and playing the victim. She had opportunities to be honest with you about her weight and using old photos. You dodged a bullet up and wouldn't want to end up with someone deceitful anyways. Today I fucked up, ate enough mustard to delay my period. I was scared I might be pregnant because my period was over 10 days late. I have an IUD, which is considered one of the most effective forms of birth control, but never say never. I took a test and it was negative, but being a young woman not ready for a baby I still had paranoia and thought maybe the test was wrong. Naturally, I did what any panicking, possibly pregnant girl does and went to Dr. Internet. I started looking into things that can delay your period, and the usual suspects are stress, overexercise, etc. I started thinking about the things I had changed in my routine in the past month and could only come up with my latest food obsession, which is mustard on everything. I'm talking an amount that's embarrassing to disclose. After some quick Googling, I found out that mustard is a natural way to delay your periods, and some cultures have been using mustard and coriander seeds for this purpose for years. Too long did not read. I ate too much mustard and thought I was pregnant. Mustard. We are gonna need a breakdown of what you are dousing in mustard. What could you possibly need it on or having that much on? Maybe you ate so much mustard because you're pregnant. Just have to wait for your period now, hopefully it'll catch up. Okay, so how much mustard are we talking here? My spouse did something really similar around Thanksgiving. My in-laws buy these Swiss Colony food packages every year and they come with this hot deli mustard, and spouse just hoards the lil bastards since no one else likes them and eats it on everything for like a few weeks. I would never have made the connection without this post. Today I fucked up by accidentally becoming the leader of a duck cult at my local park. Alright, buckle up because this is probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. It all started last weekend when I decided to spend some time outside after working from home for 3 weeks straight. I went to the park near my house, armed with a loaf of bread to feed the ducks. Yes, I now know you're not supposed to feed ducks bread. Let me ruin their digestive systems in peace. Anyway, I tossed a few crumbs into the pond, and before I knew it, I was surrounded by ducks. Like, an unnatural amount of ducks. They weren't just eating the bread, they were staring at me intensely. At first, I thought it was just my imagination. Then, one particularly bold duck waddled up to me, tilted its head, and quacked 3 times in what I swear was a deliberate rhythm. So naturally, I did the only logical thing and quacked back. This is where things went south. The moment I quacked, every single duck in the park went silent. No quacks, no splashes, no rustling feathers. Just dead silence. Then, as if on cue, they all started waddling toward me. Slowly. I panicked and threw the rest of the bread to distract them, but it didn't work. They ignored it completely and just kept coming. I backed up and accidentally tripped over a rock, landing flat on my back. And that's when the big one, this massive duck that must have been the alpha or something, stood on my chest, stared into my soul, and quacked once. At this point, I was convinced I was going to be pecked to death. But instead, the big duck bowed? Like, it literally lowered its head and bowed. And then all the other ducks followed suit. So now, I guess I'm their leader? I've been back to the park twice since then, and every time, they form a circle around me like some sort of avian cult. My neighbors are starting to notice, and I think the park ranger suspects something because he keeps giving me dirty looks. Today I fucked up by accidentally becoming the supreme leader of the duck cult. Please send help, or more bread. Too long did not read. I went to the park to feed ducks, accidentally quacked back at one, and now I'm the unwilling leader of a duck cult that bows to me whenever I visit. Send help, or bread. Next time take peas, and definitely report back. Your followers will miss you. One time I saw a pigeon and a crow fighting. I split them up like a bouncer for laughs, but the crow flew up. When I looked up there was like 10 circling above and they all started darting down one by one into the pigeon. By the time I got back over, the pigeon had bits of his face caved in and organs literally hanging from its body. I got a big rock and put it out of its misery, and all the crows started cawing like, ha ha. As if they were laughing, and no joke, a pack of them were outside my house and followed me to the skate park for years, and that's how I became Lord of the Crows in my hometown. All you have to do is head over to a lemonade stand. Ask the guy running the stand if he has any grapes. Then waddle away. This is amazing. I hope it's real. What will you do with your newfound followers? To be a benevolent god. Dude, this is the best story I've read in a while. I don't even care if it's real or not. Thank you for the laugh. Today I fucked up by using my boss's bathroom during a party and breaking it. My boss hosted a fancy holiday party at his house. After a few drinks, nature called, and the main bathroom had a line. I spotted a door near the kitchen and figured, that must be a guest bathroom. Spoiler. It was his private ensuite. Did my business, flushed, and the toilet did not cooperate. Water started rising, panic mode activated. Tried plunging. Why did he have 2 plungers? But things only got worse. At this point, water was cascading onto the floor like Niagara Falls. I panicked, shut off the water, and snuck back to the party like nothing happened. 10 minutes later, I hear him shout, "Why is there water coming from the ceiling?" I left shortly after, still waiting to be fired. Too long did not read. Used my boss's private bathroom during a party, broke the toilet, flooded his house, and left before he found out. My boss gets $1, I get a dime, that's why I shit in my boss's private bathroom and flood the whole floor. If he had 2 plungers, that toilet has been clogging for some time. Everyone always panics when the water in a toilet starts to rise. Don't panic, just turn the water off using the shut-off valve on the wall near the toilet. No poop knife? The kitchen was on an upper floor? AI doesn't know how homes or social interactions work, just the shape of them.